I think if I were starting my career all over again, I wouldn't mind starting off as Maggie Evans. It's an extraordinary thing to come out of acting school and discover that your first job allows you to play all these wonderful roles, and in costume and in period, and doing accents, and then working in a kind of repertory group of actors. It's quite extraordinary. Well, I adore Dan Curtis. I think he's fabulous. He's a fierce man. He can be very ferocious, and in those days he was very explosive but also great fun. And he had a big heart. I remember he used to take us all out for big dinners every once in a while, and he was great at creating a kind of family atmosphere. You know, we really were all very close on the show, and I think that comes across. I also think he's a genius, frankly. I mean, to come up with this concept and to have made it the success that it is, and to have innovated all of these things that have been used on other shows. I mean, he started a lot of things with Dark Shadows. I don't have any special feeling for vampires, and I remember the very first day that Jonathan Frid came on the show, and with the wolf head cane and the cape, and that we knew that he was going to be a vampire. And I was flabbergasted. I couldn't imagine how that was going to work into the show. I had no experience of vampires before. I didn't even really know what it was all about. I don't understand what the incredible attraction to vampires is, but I do know that Jonathan Frid created an extraordinary character. He took this vampire creature and made him vulnerable so that people cared about him. And I think that was part of Jonathan Frid's genius. When Grayson Hall first came on the show, I was very familiar with her career. She's a wonderful actress, and she'd already been up for an Academy Award for Night of the Iguana. She had done that film, and she was a highly respected actress. So when Grayson came on the show, it made all of the rest of us kind of sit up a little straighter. When people like Thayer David and Mitchell Ryan and Grayson Hall, you know, the veteran actors that came on to play those characters, it just gave all of the rest of us who were just starting out our careers kind of a lift. I mean, they were wonderful. Of course, there are going to be fans who are obsessive. That's part of being a fan. I mean, you care so much about something. There are some Dark Shadows fans who, for example, the woman who's got fangs that she's had her dentist bond onto her teeth. They will be there forever. But she's a housewife with 2 children, and she's decided that that's what she wants to do. And she's a devoted Dark Shadows fan. It sounds extraordinary, and it is. There are others who have changed their names. I get letters quite often from people who have changed their name by deed poll to Collins. And we actually have somebody named Josette Collins, and she's changed her name that way. She's legally known that way. But that's part of that obsessive thing about being a fan. Most of the other people who come to these festivals are, you know, they do it in a spirit of fun. They come once a year. They love watching the episodes and reruns, but they're not obsessive in that way. They're just a few. When Grayson Hall and Joel Crothers died, I was very close to both of them. And when they died in the same year, floods of memories came back. And I started writing a book called My Scrapbook Memories of Dark Shadows. And I knew I didn't want to publish it with a big company because it would only be on the market for a couple of months. And I knew how to reach that audience. So I decided to start a publishing company, publish the book myself, and the book did incredibly well. It was picked up by a book club. It sold thousands and thousands of copies. And I decided to take the profits that I made and put it into the publishing company and start publishing books by other authors. So I've now published about 40 books, and on a variety of subjects, all nonfiction entertainment. And that book, My Scrapbook Memories of Dark Shadows, was to celebrate the 20th anniversary. For the 25th anniversary, none of the other actors had written a book, so I asked them if they would contribute to the Dark Shadows Companion. And that was the 25th anniversary book. And then with the 1991 NBC primetime series, I asked Jim Pearson if he would write a book called Dark Shadows Resurrected. And now for the 30th anniversary, we're coming out with the Almanac. I don't feel I have anything more personally to say about Dark Shadows. I think I said it in the first book, but everybody else, Cy Tomashoff, who designed the sets, and Mary McKinley, who designed the costumes for Dark Shadows, some of the fans, Laura Parker, David Selby, Marie Wallace, Donna Wandre. They've all contributed to the book. So that's what the almanac is, and it's being received very well.